Yeah, if you could record, that'd be great. I'll share again. Okay. So we've gone through all this on the first calls. We've gone through all this. Our team's going to change after today because the people that didn't show up, we'll have to talk to and see what's up. I know this guy's been talking. He hasn't shown up. He's here. He's here. He just hadn't filled that out. These guys have all been on. Robert was on the first call. He hasn't filled this out. Him and Craig need to just fill that out. Jonah, you're here. Alberto, I'm not sure. Steven, you're here. You just need to fill it out.
I thought I filled it out. Yeah, mine. That's all mine right underneath. There's just extra space for some reason.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Can I do this?
Sure.
Let's back it up a little bit. Let's do that. Mess up your formatting. There. Oops. Let me do the right one.
No, that's all right. We just hit the button right next to that, on the right of it, where it'll go over.
Do which one? Over.
So hit that button first, the bullet, and then the button to the right of that.
Uh-huh.
No, one more over.
This
yeah,
one?
that one. Yep.
Oh,
Perfect.
Decrease indent. Oh, okay. Learn something new. Great. Okay. Cool. So you got yours. So we're all there. Okay. You went all out. Cool. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. So we have that. Then we have steps to creating. Boom. Awesome. Thank you for that. These are different models for financial bases, long-term versus these are short-term. Requirements for our initial funds to fit our model, co-living with the different requirement for successful experience. We went over all that. That actually was a good conversation. Options. We continue with, I think this is where we may have left off. Yeah, options. Okay, so we're talking about options for co-living. We continue with landowners to launch either a synergy hub or activation center. We can choose any area to align and align with any team for this. That's true. Anyone can do whatever they want. So options for, we're talking about co-living. Anybody have any other options? I mean, these are just above and beyond kind of. The reason we put this is because right up here we have Synergy Hub, Activation Center, and then an experiential center is basically, it could be mixed with, or a hybrid could be mixed with the Synergy Hub. It just means that we're allowing those guests that are coming in to experience the new paradigm. So it's not quite a training center, but it's sort of the way to bring the money into the new paradigm, kind of give people a little vacation, you know, water park tour, who knows, whatever, something experiential. So does anybody have any other options for this? I don't think. I'm not sure exactly. I'm still trying to figure out what it means. Okay, so these are options when choosing options when choosing the co-living plan. Okay, so we can add to that later if we need to, but we'll have to have another discussion if we do. So if anybody has anything else to add to that during this conversation, you can mull over it and we can come back. Okay, so the next one is building a closed loop economy. So a closed loop economy is something in which the funds come in, and the resource space is a really good example of a closed loop because they don't go back out to buying to the matrix to buy, you know, Ferraris and boats for the owner of the company. A traditional company, the owner will take 65% of the profits and just go buy an island for himself. And, you know, this is what we're all used to, this paradigm. So a closed loop means that a distributed means it's distributed. So that's different. But a closed loop means that the money that comes in doesn't necessarily go right out back out to the matrix. Now, in the meantime, we still do have to buy some things from the matrix, like, you know, computers and cars and stuff. But as good as we can, we want to do a closed loop. This local currencies are closed loop. If we produced all our own food and we only were able to buy food, rent, and, you know, stuff like that, it would be a completely closed loop. But we're gonna, you know, so we can have our own crypto, crypto / local currency that helps us build a closed loop. This keeps the what do you call it? Income. The money that we spend, I guess income, tied to the values. Using co-budget. So who said this? This was you, Brittany?
Yep.
Okay. So we can use co-budget for collective voice of flow. Access agreements with the specific master plan, contribution. So bills to close loop coming. I'm not sure what that means, and I wrote that.
Allocation agreements.
Allocation. Yeah, so that's like goes along with shared income. Agreement income. And resource based. Is that correct? Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
Access agreements with specific master plan. So the access agreements in a contribution economy help us to not have a corrupted system, and they make sure that we're all following our things. In a closed loop economy, okay, these are steps. So this is the co-living. So the next step we do, let me just go from the beginning. We create the financial base. We get into a house. We build our economy, and then we scale. Okay, so this is all about building our economy. That's all it is. So we're building our economy, and then the first couple things are different ways to do that, options to do that. So options in building our closed loop economy are or steps or options or things that we can do. We can create our own local currency when we're creating a closed loop economy. We can use co-budget. We can have access agreements to create our economy. Hello? Access agreements. I still don't know what that means. Allocation agreements. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? When you're building a closed loop economy, what else are we going to do when we get to that stage?
Would access agreements be, for example, how we agree to share, such as having a library of things, and you agree to use those things in a specific way, and maybe
Exactly.
add to the library?
How we share and in what circumstances and with, and permissions. Permission levels. or experience levels. Let's just call it that.
So what do you mean by experience levels? I'm actually writing a book right now, and I do use that term, but I was wondering what is meant when you say that.
Kind of like if you're accessing to use a handsaw and you don't know how to use it, then you're not experienced. So your experience level in using construction tools would not be you wouldn't have access to using it until you're trained on it.
Okay, I might call that proficiency levels then, to see if you're proficient with the tools.
Experience,
But I could,
I'll say,
I guess that's
and or proficiency. The only thing is we have proficiency is we have experience points. So everything's based on experience. Because that's the currency. So, but we'll say that to clarify. That's great, actually. How we share and in what circumstances. Okay. Cool.
I also like your drop in of permission. Just looking at it almost as like permission. If you break it down, is like what is the mission, so that those funds and can be streamed to specific missions that the teams are taking on. So like the flow of the economy, you know, can move through the agreement field and through what the experiences and the circumstances are to fund the missions that are out there in the ministry as we're working out within the local communities and expanded community and global network.
Let me share this link with you guys so that you can all it's in the chat. So feel free to write whatever you want. If you have to add to this, it's co-created, so it's totally fine. And then we can discuss it. So if you want to write what you said, building a closed loop economy. So let's see. We get here. We're in co-living. We have matching. We're creating our own economy. Requirements for a successful experience. I'm going to add something in here, actually, even though we passed this up because I just created it last night, did this morning. Okay, now I want to explain something because we're dealing with a situation in which we're ending up in a synergy hub, right? So we're ending up, when we first land at the space, we have a situation in which people are not really familiar with all the agreements. And so there might be times when we start to experience, let's just say, conflict, okay? And so this co-creation manual helps us deal with that in a way that we're focused on solutions, and we're adding to the agreement fields instead of having a conflict. So conflict in holacracy is any tension is between where you are and where you want to be. It actually defines it. So it's actually look like as a good thing. So this would be the same thing. It could be used in a space or in an organization in this case. And so basically you start to see a conflict and you raise your hand really high, and everyone knows, okay, it's time, okay, we're getting into a conflict. Let's look at the agreements. So we would all look at the agreements, see if there's anything that you've all agreed on already that fits, that maybe would help the situation. If there's nothing, then you need to create an agreement around that situation. We actually ran into one here, and that's what prompted me to do it. So if, for example, I can tell you what happened here, but I'll probably use a different example just because. Let's say that there's a transition between living together and coming together and moving from, what do you call it? I guess just a default agreement field into from strangers to family, let's call it. Okay, so if you've agreed on these things already, if you've already agreed on all these things, then maybe you have a shared income, maybe that's all clear. But sometimes you get together with people and they're not clear. So this can help us clarify any situation, whether we've already, so that's what that is. I don't know why I jumped. So a co-creation manual or guide, it says it's a requirement. I don't want to put it as a requirement. I want to put it as an option. Let's put it as an option. Okay, cool. And what's cool about this co-creation guide is we're able to offer our space agreements and all of our agreements to them as templates. So if people are trying to form their own things, we can give them the guide and it can give them processes. But if they want example agreements, they could actually come to us. That could actually be one monetization that we could have as the Gaia field. Okay, so requirements for a closed loop economy. Is everyone complete on building the closed loop economy? And did you have access to that, Jonah? Were you able to get in there? Or you're on your phone, you're not able to type, is that right?
I'm on my phone right now.
Okay. You want me to type in what you said then? I can do that for you.
Sure, please. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Tell me it again. I apologize.
Permission agreements.
Like this, per dash mission?
Yeah, it would help with I think the meaning or definition behind the permission. So allows for agreements so that we can prioritize funding for team missions.
Okay. Per mission, so a team mission. So can you explain a little bit more?
Within the funding, in the closed loop economy that we're speaking of, the permission agreement would be a team coming into the field with a particular mission on their heart within the local community, global community, and based off of what was spoke about just before then, that allocation as well as the proficiency, the team showing the proficiency abilities to be able to succeed in the mission would then receive the funds based upon also the prioritization of looking at, okay, well, is this team currently working on land restoration, on soil remediation, coral reef regeneration? What is the team focused on? How high is it on our priority list? And are we proficient? Do we have the resources, the everything needed to have a successful mission, and then release the funding based upon those agreement fields?
And it's agreements, but it almost sounds more like it's a parameter or something.
Yes.
Parameters, correct, or something like that?
Yeah. Parameters. Yeah. Measuring out the level of success to proficiency.
Is this okay to say it's based on the solutions? And this, I understand what you're saying. It fits in perfectly. So we have a solution site. So we might have teams in the future that gather around a solution, but they might come from Indiana and we're here in Costa Rica, and they're coming down to help us. And maybe there's 3 or 4 people that adopt to a solution that's over here, but they're not on our team, but they want to come fulfill that, and we don't want to do it, but we have a budget for it. Pretty much, correct? Something like that?
Right.
Okay. Cool. Love it. I like it. Okay. I'll stick it right there. All right. Anything else? Anyone else want to add to the building? We have our own currency, so we have co-budget, we have access agreement, how we share. So that helps us with our economy, I guess. I don't really see how access agreements is tied there, but okay. Allocation agreements.
It's like with specific teams, but I think that's connected with the solution permission, which is also connected to co-budget because we can use the platform of co-budget to implement the solution permission parameters and funding.
Okay, so you see it as part of it?
Yeah, the solutions will be like implemented on co-budget using, we can have agreement fields on there and access agreements, and then prioritize funding through co-budget. So it's basically just the platform to be able to vote and propose different projects for funding.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, great. Requirements for is everyone done with the build out of the closed loop? So we want to have we want to make sure after we come together that we owe shared income, obviously our own cryptocurrency access agreements. So requirements is a shared model that's already there. It's a requirement. Doesn't link back into the matrix. And these are all things that we can choose from, tools basically, or options. Okay. Everyone complete on this?
Yes.
Okay, requirements. We need to have shared income, resources, contribution, because we have a closed loop system. Doesn't link back and people don't receive cash. Okay, so that means that people don't receive cash. So what do they receive? Instead, receive resources or local currency. Let's just call it. Closed loop economy. Obviously, this is where I think access agreements come in. We have to have these. I think this is more a requirement than an option, because we have to have some kind of access agreements. We need to know what that looks like, because we're sharing an economy, but we're not we're sharing an economy, but that makes it more vague when it comes to who has access to what. So we need to have these in place, because it's not just based on money anymore. In the old model, it's, money tells us who has access. In this case, it's not like that. So we have to have those going. Okay, closed loop economy requirements. It's got to be pure model. Closed loop economy. Does anyone have anything else to add to that?
Nope, I'm good.
No?
We already have access agreements in the field.
We
Or
do.
we co-creating that.
We do, and you're welcome to look at them. They're long but they're there.
It is done.
Indeed. That'll be a good game then. Perfect.
Are you still there, Josh, or did you freeze? Frozen.
Yep. So
So scale.
everyone else present.
I don't know if Steven's still there.
I'm here. I'm just being quiet.
Cool.
Cool. We lost Craig.
Oh yeah, Craig too. Interesting. I'm gonna pause the recording.
You'll watch it later?
Oh, sorry. I forgot we're still being recorded.
We are.
I'm not sure if it's relevant for everyone else, but okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank
Wow,
you.
this looks good. How come I haven't seen this? Was this here before? All
Yeah,
this?
I've had this. This is probably been out for 2 years or so.
Oh, okay.
CDs. Did you see that, Jonah?
It's loading right now.
It says the ABCDs are abundance-based community development.
ABCD.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful. Yeah,
Love it.
love it. Whoa.
ABCDs.
Yeah.
All right, let's build this.
You know your ABCs, but do you know your ABCDs?
All the way through C, baby.
Yeah.
And then you guys have seen this one, right? The process. This is the same site that has the value decision wheel too.
I love how like we have all the things.
Loading.
We're just weaving it.
There it goes. All
Ooh.
this.
I'm
You see this,
finding the
Jonah?
most joy in the weaving of all of this is getting to know each and every one of you.
Yeah. Wow, that wheel is magic. How did you make that, Steven?
That's a lot of JavaScript.
Oh, hold on. How many panels are in that wheel?
Like 40.
Oh, wow. Whoa, 1, 2,
So
Let's
there's
see,
like,
when out,
well, there's no, sorry, there's
12,
10 values listed here
It's
plus
12.
the wheel.
10,
So yeah, I didn't
Okay.
11.
separate it. Okay.
Okay, oh, okay. So the access is with a lock. That's not actually locked. It's just meaning. It's a symbol. I was gonna say that'd be cool if you some aspect or locked or unlocked, maybe. I love it. Oh.
Cool.
But like for what you guys need, what do you need models specifically? Do you need the interior? Do you need it to be like a virtual reality space? Is it
Like
for
a
a building or what's needed?
specifically for a portal, like building on an online space.
Direct.
Building different portal spaces for different ways of engagement, basically. Like the first one is where we're focusing, so it'd be self-reflection portal, and then I need to catch up with my buddy Tom to see, we're working with some coders, like what I'd really like to see is somebody puts in their birthday, and we were kind of talking about this with Josh and like circle match and tribe match and things, but like if you put in your birth data and then it like gives you back all of your human design, gene keys, Vulcan astrology, Mayan astrology, like all these different charts, it would just give you like all these tools for self-reflection. And then it wouldn't just be charts, but it's like meditation tools or binaural beats and anything that supports self-reflection basically. And
Hmm.
then it will lead to like for instance, for the charts, if people want to learn more about human design, then they could book a session with specific practitioners that we have in our network that would support that. So they'd be like more paid offerings, and that's a different portal space. Like that's the expansion portal, which also has like our events. And then there's co-creation portal, which would maybe be more like the synergy hub, and different things would be in there where we're actually like co-creating and working on and collaborating on projects together. Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's not the type of 3D modeling that I do.
Yeah. I know, I'm trying to figure that out. But anyway, sorry, that was tangential. We were just talking a little bit while you're gone, Josh. But we can get back focused. If you want to drop that link though,
Okay.
because some of the modeling I think would be cool within the space, but I need to find the people who actually build the spaces too, because I want it to feel, you know, nice when you're in there. But yeah. Thing is, like sometimes with this technology, like you don't even know exactly what you're wanting or what's possible. You know what I mean? But you just have like a vision of what you want.
Right.
Yeah, very
And
much.
also in hearing what you were sharing there, Brittany, and helping to bridge it back to our where we were at in the conversation and the synergy hub build right now in the agreement field. I was seeing like as we were talking about the closed loop economy, is like when they're going through the reflection portal and they're working with the different practitioners that are in alignment within our community already, that's also within that closed loop economy. So it's like that's some of the like in the I guess would be part of all of those resources that are available. So it's like you're inside of that. We're you know you're going through these different portals and initiations and activations and granted more energy within that to then be to move through and to go into receiving on the other end. So it's like it's a give and receive economy, you know, and then like okay, so I've sat down and I've done a session of a healing session or work or taught a yoga class or built a structure and I've received energy in that closed loop system in the economy, and then I want to go over and I want to take a go into a self-reflection space with this practitioner over here. And so that was coming through and is another pinpoint to look at putting in our closed loop economy is how we're moving in our relations with each other, you know. And
Yeah, like I totally agree that and see how like these agreement fields are going to be woven into these online portals. Like the online spaces is really just a reflection of what we're going to be implementing, you know, on the ground level, the 3D level. I think it's just going to help us organize and communicate and become more effective in our efforts. And so yeah, like I feel like the self-reflection portal is going to be like an open space. Like maybe there's going to be an agreement, like we were talking about with natural, you know, like the agreement to love thyself beyond all condition, you know, when you come into that field. And then what opens up to you, you know, and like what are they introduced to? Like we can make it you know, step-by-step journey, like just giving them the tools for self-reflection and then giving them the opportunities to engage more. Like here's this field, you know, that you could start co-creating on this project or plug into the synergy hub. So it's like we've been talking about, they get to choose their own adventure, you know. And
right.
financial fund and help scale.
Basically, those are things that we can do very easily to either increase our finances or make money in a quick, short period of time. So that if, in case we're low on money, instead of starting a whole business and gardening, trying to sell the vegetables and spending the next 2 years trying to make 50,000, we can make 10 million in a couple months or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, just if we need finances or funds to scale, these are ways we can do it easily and quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if there's anything you want to add to that, add it on your, note on this, note, we'll want to choose the most profitable first, I guess, the most profitable first. I hate to use these words, but it's like if you're just trying to grab some money and it's within your value system and it works, and most profitable and in alignment.
There you go.
First.
And I would say, like, with the training, like, train people to do high-end deals, like, we can leave those words, but I would just maybe like to think about it as some of these things are like ambassador opportunities, where we're enrolling people to, we're creating little what would you say, Jonah? Like, I want to say soldiers, but not soldiers, like buffalo soldiers on the street,
Yeah.
and who are like, going out and spreading the good word.
They are soldiers.
Soldier.
Jazz.
Soul.
Right?
Yeah.
Jazz souls, it's like it's all that, it's soldiers. Like that's where the wordplay can come in, to help transmute some of our, like, as you were talking about profitable, bro, and like hating to use that word. I was like, well, spell it with a PH then. Make it pretty hot and tempting, right? So it's like, bringing the notion of our prophets, of our soldiers, it's that's the Rastafari in
I'm up to experiment with most things. So how you want me to put spell it with? I don't know how to spell it. PH. Just put an H in there.
Yeah.
Instead of the F.
Yeah.
Instead of the F, put a PHET. Prophet Abel. Prophet Abel.
Yeah.
Prophet.
Nice.
Profit, most profitable and in alignment. Okay, good. Okay.
I love it.
It's
We transmute in here.
right, and yes, like, right. So our ambassadors, if we're looking at that definition, is those that are coming into the like first order of agreement fields. That level 1 agreement field area is like that's thinking about, okay, you're on the street, and you're making the connections and establishing the relations both in the 3D and in the 5D, and moving through those like while you're on that, you're actually activating, you're in activism, you're helping to pick up, you're stewarding the land, and you're going through the agreement fields and moving up into the next level, so thinking of it as almost a martial arts practice of initiation and forward movement.
Yeah, and bringing in that each one teach one sort of thing. So like if we want to train people to do high-end deals such as Bitcoin and CBD, do we have people who are skilled in that already? And do they want to, automate some of their process so that we can train people more easily? And what's that look like, but that's going to kind of be more specific for agreement fields. But that's just something I think we could look at, as far as like if we want to activate different prosperity plans or scale really quickly, who do we have that's really skilled in those areas? And like, could we set up platforms for them to be like able to access with ease and grace, the people who are interested in training in those fields,
Yeah. So I'm hearing more of asking our communities in our circles right now to be putting together tutorials for their practice.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can start feeling that co-creative container, and break it into these wheels that we have, so that we can look at each one and just fill up each one of these. If each one of these wheels is like a chalice, we're filling our chalice right now, these waters, and the tutorials would enter in and allow that like gateway to open up into the choosing of the adventure, the practitioner, the relation.
Oh. Steven, do you know, are you a generator?
I think so. I don't really keep up with.
What's your birthday?
March 28th, 1982.
My son's birthday is the 31st. Because Josh is a projector, Jonah's a reflector, and then we got probably 2 generators.
Jonah's a reflector. No, you're not. Are you, Jonah?
Yes, sir.
You're the anomaly?
Yeah.
I'm the anomaly, bro. Yeah.
Cool. I know 2 now. I've known another one.
Nice.
Another guy that I know.
Nice.
Very rare.
What was his name?
Bobby Mook. He was part of the team for Montaya.
Oh. Nice.
That's awesome. So we're already in alignment.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had some interesting experiences with that, with the team and that guy. And it's funny because I'm a projector, but I'm on the anomaly of the projectors. I'm the closest to the reflector. We make our decisions the same. It's called no authority.
Oh no.
Yeah. Nice. Give me your birth date also, Brother Josh.
August 12th, 1974, and I was born in Australia. I don't know if that counts, at noon.
Yeah, it counts, definitely.
That's funny. I'm an anomaly in in basically not just the generator field, but like the arrows above your head that point left or right. Like I'm an all right, which is very, very rare. It's like it's like as rare as being a reflector, but it's like where our collective evolution is heading towards the right, and the left is like the past and like old systems. So like the right, basically we're just like a sponge taking in everything on the periphery, and the moment I try to focus on something, then it's like crashing the car.
I love that we like are all tapped into where we are, ourselves in this way and can share. It's cool to see that, and play with that, discovery of self. And I think that's where the self-reflection portal, takes us all into the discovery and in a very like systemic, organic way. I say systemic instead of systematic. It's like it's more within the organism. It's just like it's within our system. Just like to go into like, okay, well, as a living organism that we all are, as the crystals above on the planets, communicating with each other, like how we synergize, right? And how we are communicating is it can be grounded in very quickly, with this right here that then allows for the co-creation to move with fluidity. I'm listening to like the waves of the ocean like right behind me, you know, and like looking the sunrise in Maui in one of our headquarters spaces, you know. It's like this is here what we here came to do and choose into and co-create together. So blessings, aho. I love y'all. Stephen Black, please give me your place of birth and time if you know it.
Yeah. Oh, my place of birth?
Yes, sir.
How specific?
Say again.
How specific?
Like city and state.
Lansing, Michigan.
Got it.
I was gonna
At what
specifically
time?
right below his mom.
It was about like 5:12 p.m. I'm not exactly sure on the minutes, but it was around 5.
What day was it? Sorry, I missed that.
March 28th.
1980.
82. Pink was my favorite color.
That's my favorite color too. It has been since he was a baby. Like it just lit him up ever since like he was a couple months old.
Who?
My son.
Pink's his favorite color also?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great color. In the 80s, it was neon pink.
Super bright.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did you have more, Josh?
What's that?
Did you have more? Did we get through it?
Yeah. Let's get through it. We can just if you might want to patch the video when you post it.
I don't know how to do that.
Do you have a Mac or do you have a Mac?
Yeah.
You have QuickTime. You have QuickTime then.
Yeah.
You can do it in there pretty easily.
Okay.
Open it up in QuickTime and just you'll see how to chop it out. Okay, I think you will. You might have. If you don't, then whatever. It doesn't really matter. People can whatever. You can put a note on the video.
And like, feel free to fast forward 15 seconds here and there.
All right. So scaling. So let's look. So we've got here. We're in our place. We have our economy built. Everything's going good. We can also look. Is there something between scaling? Is there like a reflection time, or is there? But I don't know if we're going to be able to know these things ahead of time. You know what to expect.
Yeah.
So we do know that we need to build our economy, and then we can scale. There is interpersonal things that we'll have to do, but I don't think we can plan for those like this. I think they're kind of more organic. Okay, so to scale, if we need financial scaling, here's some ideas. Does anyone have anything else to add to that? It's basically pretty simple. It's the most profitable. Okay, cool. Moving on. Tech platforms to help us scale. So we need to scale. To be able to scale, we have to match people to their master plans efficiently and quickly so that they can all get up and get on the same page, get going. And this includes plan match, which also includes which includes agreement fields. Plan match is kind of the end of the agreement fields. You've all are on the 100% same agreements, and you're going to move forward. So that's why, if that's there, then everything else is there. All training portals. So that's the agreement fields and anything else that has to do with training, all of them. That's very broad category, but that's what it says. Events organized and event leaders on board. Okay, so they have the event leaders on board with their programs synced. So we don't have a different program, 5 different programs for healing, so their programs are synced to match for coherency. And so when people are earning badges and experience in those specific areas, when entering, okay, I got this worded all wrong. Okay, events organized and event leaders on board. So we have our events organized so people can choose them in different countries. and event leaders' programs are synced for coherency. Let's just take this out. When entering areas that require that specific knowledge and that badge. So they go into a community or a synergy hub that requires a badge that says, we need to know that you've had this experience and you've been trained in nonviolent communication, and you can self-heal yourself, and you can, you have all that. Okay, financial models. And so events can give those badges, and that's why they go together. Financial models and solutions site. Did you have something to say on the events one, Brittany? You look like you were going to say something.
No,
Sorry.
just,
I'm moving too fast.
mm.
Okay, and if anybody has anything to say on the training, anything else, I'll give a second in a little bit. Just feel free to butt in if I don't pause.
Just like
Financial.
sorry, you did erase like something mention of the badges before. I just am curious if that part was clear enough for the badges to be left in there.
That it was a repeat.
Oh, okay.
I was saying experience points and badges, and then it says right here, when entering area that requires specific knowledge and badge, or experience, I could say instead of knowledge, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was worded wrong. It was repeated.
But okay, yeah, that works then.
Okay, financial models. Okay, so this is part of tech platforms that we're going to need to help us scale. So once all these are up and going, we're good. So financial models and solution site merged. So we have our solution site up and going, and the financial models merge into those so that people can easily implement and launch towards a solution and per missions. So that means they can launch towards a solution on their own and self-organize, and they can become a permission for other groups. They can form permissions for other groups. So that's why we need all the financial and solutions merged and understood. And these could go as big as, we can offer these to cities and cities. Like San Francisco and LA could have a fund they put aside for this to experiment with our model, with our worldwide co-creation solutions governance model, or whatever we're gonna call it. And they could say, yeah, we're going to put our fund so that when we build when one of the solutions is to build a high-speed, low-mass vehicle rail system from LA to San Francisco, all those funds that are in between can decide if they want to be a part of it, and if they are, they get a little exit in their little town.
Oh, can you imagine the stop at each end of the train being a hub?
Oh. You put your little badge in or whatever, and go into a different room.
Yep.
And you automatically get what you want to drink.
Yes, the tunnel will take you immediately, upload you into the transformers out there that will take you into the next space. Pick you up in the ride sharing component, take you to your next destination, move you into wherever that is, but all that energy is just in between that main artery, then goes out into the rest of the body in either space, Yep. Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, tech platforms. Is there anything else on tech platforms that would help us scale? So we have the solution site, so people can match on solutions and financial models. That way we can scale. We can take a solution, we can plan match. People are trained. They have to be trained properly, obviously, or else they're not going to be able to be matched on solutions. So we have the agreement fields and plan match. Events for more training, basically. It's more training, but events and event leaders. So worldwide, we can scale. Anything else you can see that would be necessary tech platforms specifically for scaling, so that we can scale out, create synergy hubs, create solution centers.
I have one, but let's come back to it in a minute. I have to dig it up first.
Okay. We'll come back to it. You can even type in there. It looks like that's you probably. Okay. And then I have one more okay, so let's see. We have financial takes financial. We might need finances to be able to scale. We might need tech platforms. What else will we need to scale? Like obviously the training could be more defined. How can we make that training process smoother? I mean, we put up top, we put matching the events and syncing them. That's necessary for scaling. Otherwise we get bogged down. Is there anything else with the training we need to put or anything else?
Evolutionary curriculum.
Okay, so education and training. Let's call it.
Yeah, that's. I can fill in a lot of that area right there. I would say, like in terms of the education and training, that's coming through, and bringing forth some tutorials in that for some basics in what the ambassadorship. One of the links, speaking of which, I can't type it in. So if you would like to drop this link, but it would be the pilotbeacon.me.
Pilotbeacon.me. Okay, so should I put that here maybe?
Yeah, for the training.
Okay. So we want to, okay. So when we put in, we want to make sure that one thing that we do in the process, just to let you know, Jonah, is we want to stay away from canned solutions. Okay. So as we co-create, when we throw in something that's already pre-built in a different model, we want to make sure to put it into our outline. That's why when Brittany suggested the co thing, it was something that fits into the outline. So basically, if I don't know what Pilot Beacon is, but if it's something that we can,
It's amazing.
If you did you create this or someone else?
It's totally open source though.
Yep.
Open source, so we can mess with it. That's cool. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to say that. I'm not saying that is or isn't anything. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that awareness. Thank you, Josh.
But we can definitely extract some things from it because people may not want to go through it all, but it's got like gold in there. So,
Okay. So I'll look at it in a little bit. Right. What else? Education, streamlined evolutionary curriculum. That explains what I was going to say, which is the same thing. And it's to me, the streamlined evolutionary curriculum means there's probably a standard that we're going to have, you know, like a Gaia standard, which would be very simple, not complex, very, very simple, just to enter, just basically you're showing that these are the people we want to basically know that no matter where we go in the field, we're going to encounter people that at least have these basic tools, like nonviolent communication, self-healing, you know, so they're not having to be healed constantly, you know, self-healing. They now have the tools to at least do some of the work themselves. They found their purpose so that they're not like still lost. And they know how to co-create. Like we wouldn't want to be like teaching people how to co-create from scratch.
all of this stuff too, Josh, is really good information for us to just like prototype, like an archetype of the type of people that we want to co-create with and invite into the field so that we can get our like message to match, you know, who we want to. And so we could even do that, like you and I have a session where we dial in exactly what you say, you know, we want people with prosperity consciousness who are clear on their purpose and ready to co-create. They have these different tools, you know, available or trainings that they've undergone, like NBC or, you know, systems design or something, you know, so then we can just get it really dialed in and like even put a call out if we need to at some point, you know, like who's up for tapping into the mission now. Which is perfect because we had to get a lot of this foundational stuff, you know, when we first started talking about like marketing and stuff, like it just wasn't ready, but it feels like we're shifting more into that where we want to be connecting more, and that's what these like Full Potential Alliance is about, is like really connecting with the people who are in that resonance. So then we can be like, here's the properties that we have available, like we're going to be activating different synergy hubs, like let's go team go.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Oops. Okay, so is there anything else you wanted me to add in there, Brittany,
I think you're good.
or anyone on education? So we have basically a curriculum that's streamlined and it's matched and synced, which we also repeated up here. Streamlined and synced. Let's put in synced. Streamlined archetypes and parameters for who's in the universal fields and locations, and others can use this to modify their hub centers, villages, and cities. Education. Is there anything else that we need to scale our education? Okay. And then I'm just going to call this next one other things that could help us scale. Is there anything else that you think can help us scale?
All right, so one of the things I think could help us scale, it's very similar to a cryptocurrency, but it's based on time, and I call it public services. The idea is it's basically that main way to be able to compete with giant corporations is to keep eliminating any of the areas in which there's profit. So you eliminate all of those where you're just going directly from the service giver to the recipient in a way in which is based on time. So you also don't have the potential for accumulating massive wealth. Like lots of these small transactions, like times a million, just mean you're making millions of dollars an hour, which is great for funneling money in from the matrix. But when you're working with other people, it's about making it kind of balanced. So the way it works, for example, is you start with a service like Lyft, but the drivers are all paid hourly instead of based on a ride, so they have a stable income, and then the cost for the service is based on time plus potentially resources, but it allows for this building up of a service that's in major need already, transitioning it to a new time-based currency, and from there opens up to many other areas where people can start accepting this newer currency, which then makes it easier to scale because now you have, well, currency, which allows you to have power, and then you can exchange goods more easily. So if you have something that's really profitable, that money can be focused into scaling. I don't know if I explained that well enough, but
no, that's great. So
Yeah.
so if I was going to say it in my own words, I would, and to write it here, I would say public services it basically reorganizes the financial and the financial distribution model for existing companies to transition into to getting closer to fitting within the pure model that we have, or something like that.
yeah, but it's actually more of a way to compete than transition. And it's because it'd be more efficient. What you're doing is for example, if you're creating the Lyft equivalent app or the Uber equivalent, you're getting rid of the people who are making all the money. You get rid of that, so now you're able to compete because it's just a transaction between the driver and the person who's offering the service, and then they both have reputation there, so that's what keeps it honest. And that way you don't have like creepy drivers, and also you don't have rude passengers. But by eliminating that small profit margin or large profit margin, you're able to compete and start build up the commons. Or if we are taking a profit, that can go into, again, rebuilding the commons or building up, whatever we want to call it. So
Great.
all these successful businesses that have profit right now are good targets for this model, and turning it back into a public service.
Okay, can you put that explanation in there? I see that you're online. That'd be great. Do you have the link
Yes.
still?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm in the document.
Okay. Okay. What else can help us scale? Festivals that match people and help them build their own synergy hubs. They could match just, yeah. I used to have match on job, but that's the same thing. It's instead of job match, it's purpose-driven project matching or plan matching. So synergy hub matching and plan matching. Seems like we're turning synergy hubs. You're kind of turning into a way to. It's giving us this last piece of scalability is really giving me at least a little insight of what benefit these synergy hubs might be able to handle, like the activation centers can birth villages and cities specifically, so that once we have all these little tech pieces and all the organization going, we can birth villages and cities, but that will be done by the activation centers. Okay. All right. Anything else that can help us scale? I feel somewhat complete. I think. They're trained. Finances are good, trained. And what about organized? That's plan match. That all happens there. We've already got all that. We just need, and that's the solution center. I think we just need to scale that, make that a little bit more. Is there anything we need that it has to do with people, like something that we can, use the Wikipedia model and kind of utilize other people that can just kind of do the work that we don't, that can help us scale, where they can
I think there's
use their
going to be a role
skills.
Especially if we're using tokens or our own currencies, then we can compensate people for different sort of work or roles that we need to help support the project. I think it'll be kind of situational based. Does that make sense?
So kind of like those getting the different currencies, a way for us to use the existing resources and currencies to play with existing ones, to pitch those in,
to kind of to access different skills or work that we need to be done, like support in ways. Yeah.
Yes, the Gaia field specifically. So if we don't scale, nothing scales, obviously, right? So you're saying something to help the Gaia field maintain a be able to have people plug in and help easier, quicker.
Yeah, I think it'll help create more coherence between the Gaia field and more of those localized synergy hub fields too.
Okay, and then let's do Gaia Alliance, Gaia field. I would say this. Other things that goes Gaia Alliance. What was I going to say there? The support network or something, like having a reciprocation program.
Yeah.
Okay, so already what we have is within our sub-master plans or master plans that we adopt, we're requiring them to say what their reciprocation is back and forth, and and then we decide if that's okay with us. Synergy Hub right now in the master plan, basically the reciprocation is, since a Synergy Hub cannot handle like there's certain things that they don't need to handle, tech and governance. Most Synergy Hubs just need to do like their little things, but they still want to connect into the world game, and they want to take advantage of all those things and have updated agreements, and be able to access the networks and all that. So they get that from they get that, they get the teams, all the circles they can work for Synergy Hubs and can communicate with them and give them updates.
What are you doing? Is that tea?
Yep.
Cool.
And then the Synergy Hub in return gives something to the Gaia field. In this case, they're going to help them with the resource campaign. In fact, I want to put resource campaign in here because that's a big part of scaling. Reciprocation program. So let's just say, so should we keep this, Brittany, the reciprocation program between the different master plans, or do you think that you're saying that there's a way for adopted master plans?
Yeah.
And a way for people that are outside right now looking in to be able to pitch in?
I think that's like crucial, pretty much. Yeah.
But right now we have that, we're building that with our little, funding model, but website stuff and different, things that we're doing for funding. Are you saying that something different, or just a continuation of that in mind, or how do you see that? Because I it's not clear to me yet.
Yeah, it'll just be like, basically, I can see it happening in the co-creation portal because that's where things are in progress. So, whereas the finished project proposals will be, say, in the prosperity portal or some other portal. There's many doorways, right? But yeah, in the co-creation where there's like active projects that people can plug into, and we'll have like clearly defined roles and also compensation plans for people. So like we have these different tokens, maybe they'll even be able to choose like how they want to be compensated. Like the more diverse our assets, like I think that's going to also help in our access to getting people to help, because and contribute. So like more of a contribution model. And
Okay.
yeah, if that helps.
Okay. I put each one teach one contribution and compensation plans for onboarders.
Perfect.
Okay. And remember, Stephen's Futures Playground participation method. It's hard to see here. Maybe we could put a link to it where it's bigger, but it's resource gatherers come in, designers, and facilitators. It's a model that we have here. We got to decide if we're going to adopt it and how that looks and how quickly we can ramp that up and how we can turn that into our marketing campaigns, basically. If we tie this with a marketing campaign and a little bit of organization, I think we can do what you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. Public services. Yeah, we got it. App starts as a cooperative. Okay, cool. We already know what it is, so that's good. Tech platforms, education, other things, resource campaign. Anything else before we get to the end here? Helping us scale. I think the resource is pretty big piece because it gives us lands and equipment and people and resources. It basically takes care of the worldwide resources. Helps us get the organizations on board, which is a big one. Oh, merging software. Software for the larger companies to come in. And then we'll also have to have, to scale with government so we don't get stuck with them, we'll have to have some kind of relations department. I know that's getting a little far out there, but.
It's good to map out though. Like, it's good to kind of have the whole scope and then we can dig in and tackle different pieces.
I'm going to call them foreign governing bodies. That could be an organization or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no foreign. Just kidding. Outside of self. I don't know.
We could change the word to for in.
For in. There you go. Yeah.
It's they're meant for to be in. They're meant to be in working together, but they're not. Before in. Whatever. Okay. Okay, before they come in, FORE. So for means before. Before they.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
Before it.
for in before they, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Cool.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, requirements to help. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You got something.
Real, the experience just a second ago, as we were speaking into this, was happening at the moment, you know, in the 3Ds. Like, as we're literally in our practices and doing it, it goes into the co-creative field. So if we have like immediate possibility for that interaction, you know, that could be that's what it was, something that came through. It was like, okay, that was a potential moment where somebody wanted to come into alignment with the healing of qigong, and how to be in a readiness and preparation to bring that energy into the unified field. So I just wanted to share that experience because I think it had to play into what we were discussing at that time.
No, that's perfect. So you're starting to answer a question that I wasn't able to answer earlier, which was how do we bring energy to scale? How do we get the energy to scale without having to do workshops for every single person? And is that what you're speaking to? It sounds like.
Right. Yeah, like each person, because you were talking about the each one teach one reach one. I mean, it's literally like a one-on-one type of relation. You know, as we're in these interactive things that bring it like inner chi to our self. You know, that inner chi, it's going to magnetize the field right then and go into a space of co-creation potentiality. You know, so then in that time, it's like it's an opportunity to synergize with that energy. And so being in ready position, my lesson at that moment was I needed to be in mute because I disturbed a little bit of what you were saying, and I couldn't engage the gentleman that just walked into the space, you know, wondering, hey, what is going on? What are you practicing right now? You know, so as with each one of our practicing and every movement that we do is an opportunity to bring people into the unified field, because we're already magnetizing people into our field who are at the quality, you know, cream of the crop.
All right. So energetic, each one teach one. So this is really interesting because lately I've been thinking of, you know, a lot of this has to do with aligning our energies. And it's really interesting because, for instance, each different financial model has a different energy behind it. If you notice, like the fiat currency, when you're still in that energy, it's very abusive, dominating. You know, there's an energy behind it that you get whenever you're dealing with that. When you're dealing with it, you're going to get it like pretty much no matter what, right? Especially when you're trying to deal with. I mean, it's meant to deal with strangers. It's not meant to deal with family, right? Families, you use it, you give it to family to help them deal with the outside world, basically. But other than that, there's an energy behind it. You know, when you're using it. Anyhow, there's an energy behind it. Contribution, there's energy behind it, like honor. You're like, you know, you did your part. You have everything handled, and there's like this energy behind it. And then there's gift economy. It's kind of like an energy of like, well, I'm getting everything for free. It's almost like a lazy energy, or I don't trust people. Are they doing their part? You know, it's not really full trust, and it's not really full honor. And so looking at the energies behind things. So energetic scaling, we can take the energies and maybe place systems obviously have different energies, because they're born to produce a result, and that's tied to an energy. So we're bringing the 3D to the 5D, or the 5D to the 3D, and that's through a system. A system brings the idea concept down into reality. and it becomes a culture eventually, and we don't have to have a system. So in creating that, it's kind of like a training program is a system. It's the same thing. It's a processes and processes and structure equals systems usually. So when we're bringing, so we're talking about how do we incorporate, we've got some processes in here when it comes to education. So energetic scaling. So we're saying, but what do you want me to write there specifically, Jonah? Let's think. We have, we want the energy to be able to quickly go into the field, but we also don't want to dominate other people and force them to have our energy. So we need focus. We need to have streamlined processes for focus, for group focus, focus and presence. You got to be present before you can focus. What else?
Also, in that energetic scaling is something that I know in the document or the PowerPoint that I shared with you. There's something that came through is what I called as an awesometer, the awesome meter, and it was basically like looking at if we scaled our energies, our inner chi, in within our 7 chakras, and thought about it as like coming into that field. Okay, am I aligning with this person on the in that, as you brought into the family field, you know, into the root field? Is this a space of co-creative energy? Is this a space of purpose where we're aligning in our purpose? Are we feeling a heart thread compassionate, you know, and utilizing that energetic field to help bring in some of the scaling and systematic way of integrating people into more learning, you know, within themselves and understanding their energetic being.
Okay.
So like you were saying, like the gifting, you know, economy, you know, it is what it is. It's an economy that brings about that, and it's one part, you know, maybe that's sitting at in the crown, you know, is the gifting economy. That gifting economy, Sister Brittany brought up, like, you know, the peace, love, unity in the declaration, devotion to love yourself and beyond all life beyond conditions, you know, can move you into like a gifting economy type of flow, where then you immediately take that devotion, sign up, and contribute, you know, give an offering into that that gifting or currency, you know, that then would filter into the entire system and move itself down into the heart space, the central processing core, to deliberate out into whatever's next. That's where I feel the prosperity portal comes into play.
Okay, I'm going to say matching I'm going off what you said. Matching a small ceremony and energetic alignment when transitioning into a new energetic field.
Yes, perfect.
So yeah, honoring that process, that natural law of you know, it's kind of like when someone, you know, gets triggered or when, you know, starts honking their horn or something, it kind of just disrupts the field. Okay. Anything else energetic? You said each one teach one. I don't know if that fits into the energetic scaling to help us scale energetically. It seems like it would, so that we don't have to all like be like waiting to find the answer. We can just, so let's just say each one teach one methodology. Intertwined.
Interwoven.
Yeah, it's better than wine.
Interweaving even to keep it into the consistency of ongoing. Yeah.
Okay.
Gracias.
144.
Energetic scale. Huh?
It's 144.
It's probably time to end it because let's get this last one. I started it right before 11:11 on my end. Requirements for us to scale properly, balanced, and produce a living system. Okay, so just in a smaller economy, all profits need to go in the collective field and economy. Yes, so for us to scale, balanced, to produce a living system, we're creating an economy through the Synergy Hub. We need the profits to go, when it comes to scaling, we want to make sure our profits, whatever profits come in, go into the collective field and economy and not just off into their own things. Otherwise, they're going to be separated financially, which means they can't produce solutions together, which means they can't work together, which just kind of throws everything off.
Mm-hmm.
Requirements for us to scale properly, balanced, and produce a living system. Communication lines. So any living system needs to have its communication lines
Clearly defined.
fully functioning.
Yeah, like I would say like fully defined and what was that word I just said? Yeah, clearly defined and open.
Yeah, let's say streamlined or open. It's like the best it could be. Streamlined or open or optimized.
Optimized.
Optimized Prime.
Optimized. What else do we want to optimize?
Don't get me started on that. It'd be everything. We got to end this conversation.
Just optimizing economy. So the economy goes all into one thing. It's ways others to plug in and play with us. So this is inviting. Let's just say inviting. Inviting. Inviting, clear. Step by step. And then like people want buddy partners from the beginning sometimes. I think that might even help us, to have buddy partners from the beginning because.
Yeah, I think that this is where the different tracks too, like some people want their hand to be held and like guided through things, but some people are like, nah, I'm alright, like I just want to like plug in and like propose some things and if I can co-create. So I think there needs to be some sort of process, like foundational format that is like the template, it's for that each one teach one, the like holding hands, like buddy system, just to show you around sort of thing.
One thing that I don't know if it's gonna be appropriate for this, but I want to share it anyway, that I'm trying to do with the community that we're developing is a community is made up of families, and not biological families necessarily, but rather people who just take on the role of we're going to be a family. 6 of us will be a family. We then have our own organizational structure within our family. So it could be where one person's like a resource gatherer who just has a full-time job while somebody else is taking care of things that are going to help grow the community, and somebody else is taking care of like bring on new people. And the idea of a family is that it grows and then divides and grows and divides. So we have a way to bring in new people, and it's not like a group of all fresh people. You have some master people, some newer people, and then like that, and they're just able to share skills, offer that support, and help people integrate well without becoming overwhelmed of joining an entire community where you might have like 60 people and they're all kind of clicking together and stuff. This gives you that immediate click/family feeling when you enter and you have those people that answer your questions and help you along.
I like that.
Love that. Thank you. Need to talk more, Stephen.
Sorry.
No, sorry. It's beautiful. You wait until just the right moment. and then brought it in. It's good stuff.
I
So
feel
I'm
bad that
hearing
I
in that too.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Please go
Josh.
ahead. No, please go ahead.
I was saying, just in reflecting what Stephen was sharing, was that core unit is important for any hub to be successful. You know, so it's like having that core energy that comes in, that initial 6 to 12, and then just let it do, you know, like you say, that comes together and then blossoms out or expands out, you know, into it and grows from there. So seeing how the intimacy and working with less can have a larger ripple effect.
Yeah, and just to go a little bit further with that, it is because once you have those connections or that relationship formed, those like ties, you then have that much more reason to give. Right now, people feel like isolated and they don't have that motivation. But if you have those people who are kind of dependent on you, and you feel like you're supported at the same time, that it's something that we're all seeking. So by fulfilling that need, we're able to self-actualize more easily.
Star teams.
I think Josh froze again.
And then like it was you know, the acronym for the Alliance of Light and Loves, star, you know, and bringing it into the star formation, and like utilizing the different structures out there and thinking about, okay, we need a star team, we need a starting 5, you know, we need, and that brings in the human design element, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if that was your core unit that came in, it's like, hey, we're gonna have a cool start team. That's our start. Let's start with that, you know, and then expand out from that unity. So,
Hub meeting. Oh, it's paused right
nice.
Welcome back.
now. I guess, yeah, well, the internet went down. Hey, guys, sorry about that.
I like that, Jonah. So you were just explaining basically the all-star teams, right?
Yeah,
Really cool.
it just is what like is a kind of grounding in some of the creative field, and what, you know, seeing and having a vision where we're all at right there. It's like, okay, that's what Steven is bringing in right there, was like these all-star teams, you know, and like that, okay, where's, with each location that we have is coming into our awareness, you know, and where we would choose into in that field, where would we like to go, you know, which all-star team is here, you know, which all-star team is there, which all-star team is in these different locations, and it just gets to starting, you know, start it up. You know, it's seeing how quickly and rapidly things move when we actually physically in the same space with each other. You know, it moves fast here to be in it, but it's like it's a whole other kind of experience, and you sit there and go, boom, you know, we're all right there. And I feel there's some things in our co-creative field right now, what we're bringing forth and manifesting into the 3D to be able to be put into use and form that may get unstuck, kind of like what you were sharing, Sister Brittany, with like where we're at with these systems. It's like maybe it's because we need to get together and be in a space right now, like able to build them out right then and there, because it's hard to do it over this. I mean, we've been trying this for years, you know, and types of like, let's get this part out. So
Agreed.
Yeah, totally. It's time to go. Let's do it. Activate.
Make a theme song for us, Brittany. That would help.
Playlist.
Required. Brittany makes a theme song.
Down.
All right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Handled.
Awesome.
So I missed, okay, I'm cutting out. I missed the last little bit, so I'm just assuming and hoping that anything that you guys went over that you'll put into the sheet.
Just that.
I did. Obviously, I didn't. Obviously, I wasn't able to. So it sounds like really good. Yeah, cool.
Perfect.
I added some things. I'm gonna go over it with you because I did just add some things. Okay, I added communication lines fully optimized. No, we already talked about that. No force. All agreements support flow and separate all opposition and has a might be too strong a wording, but separate instead of all, how about separates all opposition? It just meaning that like it supports flow. So if there's opposition, it's able to understand, like that's what the proposal process is for, sort of, right? It's like, okay, let's see if these are one idea or two before we go further, instead of just banging heads. And has a process that stops us from going too far with any situations of opposition, so that before we energetically get all into this other energy space, we can stay in the co-creative. And that's defined here. Energetic alignment to the systems, or we can approve and define it there to start in that. Energetic alignment to the systems, matched and embodied. This is kind of just more of what we were talking about. This is necessary to scale. We got to have people aligned energetically to the systems that they're stepping into. Whatever that looks like. Harmony within groups, energetics, and experience. So experience covers a lot. If we have the same experience and we're in harmony, we're good. It's when we get off of that that we get messed up. So this could be in a romantic relationship even. This could be, there could be imbalance in romantic relationships, as we all know, right? So if we no, it's not possible. So having a balanced system means that we're balanced energetically and our experiences are balanced. And so harmony within the group is a tough one, but I think that it's possible with, I think it needs to happen. Otherwise things can crash, although we do have the system set up where they can leave. And then conflict resolution and prevention easily available. Anything else that you can see that's a requirement to have a balance and produce a living system where we can scale and kind of.
Is there a way to identify people's purpose within the group? I mean, I don't see it explicitly, but I think that's a big one also. Is part of me believes that disharmony also comes from lack of purpose. If you don't fully understand, I don't know to be true of the synergy. I mean, most people know why they're there, but as long as we have a clear purpose for why they're there, I think that can help with a feeling of purpose, which then makes it easy to have that focus. And then, the appropriate tools for conflict resolution in place. There really shouldn't be any issues.
Yeah, we have that covered with our education. So when we said that we were going to have to identify things that we all purpose and healing are within the initial universal education of what we want to see everyone have when they come in. We didn't identify it here, but we can put that. How about this? Let's put it here. Learned, embodied by all in the field. Does that work? Is that too much to ask?
No,
It
that
might
sounds
be
great.
too much to ask for them to be fully embodied, but at least an agreement to have their awareness focused in that direction, I think is maybe more.
I think if you just put embodying, put an ing, so that's thinking about the process of embodying what the purpose is of the hub itself, as well as the individual purpose.
Get to those action verbs.
If that's not defined coming in, you know, it's a place to seek that out and explore that, you know, and through all of the different portals and unification and oneness. Yeah, Mama's over here. Hula hooping.
All right. This gives us a. Is anything else? Last request. Okay. All right. So this gives us a good starter. We've got our team. I'll define the team. So what I'll do this week, let's give it a week on the first one, so we can kind of. Or I don't know. What do you guys want to do? When do you want to have the next call? I guess is the question. Let's just put it out to co-creation. How often do we want to have a call? Once a week or twice a week or 3 times? Or I mean, twice eventually I think is good. Is what we're planning. But
Yeah.
what are you guys feeling for now?
Maybe open it twice a week just to get it kind of more dialed in. And I mean, what's our time frame too? Like, I think this is kind of high on the priorities for.
Yeah.
The Synergy Hub.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking in the land that is approved by, well, getting approved by an investor here that's freaking phenomenal. So I'm supposed to look today or tomorrow. So yeah, it's high. It's high on there to get us rolling. So strong financial base is step one. So we can kind of get on page with that. If anybody wants to take on anything in here, I say so let's do twice a week. When's good for you guys? I'm open.
I'm flexible.
Me and Stephen are flexible.
This time was really was good. Like the time that we started this morning, I felt really good about it. It was like coming into this meeting at sunrise for where I'm at currently.
Aww.
Can you do
Beautiful way
Thursdays
to
at
start
11?
the day.
Can you do Thursdays at 11 also?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonah?
Yeah, today is Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you do Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Jonah?
Maui,
I
Hawaii.
thought so. Awesome.
Yeah. And you?
I'm in Austin, Texas right now.
Awesome. Nice. We were just talking about Austin yesterday.
Yeah.
With Brother Gabriel. Okay. I love Austin.
It's got some good stuff.
So
All right,
Thursdays,
so
11 a.m.
Thursday.
CST. And what's the other time? So twice a week. We're going to put twice a week.
Same time, same place, same channel.
There we go. And the Thursdays there, and then what else? There's twice. There's another one. What is it?
Tuesday.
Anybody suggest?
Tuesday is fine.
Tuesdays, same thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Meeting.
Okay.
That's awesome. I'm gonna be meeting with Doron tomorrow. And what I was just feeling into, we were talking about getting this stuff out there and more awareness through the Source Network as a channel. Would y'all be interested in continuing and doing this meeting and doing it and bringing in that channel and keeping our 11:11 times? So now we'll have Tuesday, Thursday, and then we can fill in the other 7 days with other collaborative meetings, you know. And those of us that are really sitting in a lot of different circles, which all of us in this circle currently are, can continue like meeting and going into these collaborative things. I think it will reel in what we're all looking for to expedite this process.
I'm a little confused in what you're saying. So you said something about the source?
Yeah, the source network is a media station, and having our meetings generated or expanded through that network to just get out a little bit more of awareness and reel in, magnetize, what's the field. So that'll, and then having Tuesday and Thursday, we'd also have like the 11/11 time frame. We can keep that in the flows as a weekly day, so it talks about every single day at 11/11, there's going to be a show with a particular theme. So we're currently already holding Tuesday and Thursday in the National 12. So I'm just bringing into y'all awareness is that's a game that you would like to play in collaboration.
Yeah, let's discuss that with the whole team on there's a few of us here, but I like it. And so we were talking, Brittany, about you said that we could use the media to get newcomers on, and we want to have a game plan for that, though. We want to have a game plan on how they can kind of come in, help go through the. Do we need our process for that? Because we don't want to just drag them into an empty room where they're waiting because then they leave. We want to drag them into a room where they can instantly go through the program and get placed and matched, right?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But our websites aren't quite ready for that. So we could do a live stream, explain the process, and just explain that we need some tech help or.
Also, we do have just the beginning processes laid out that they could go to level 1. These things are laid out so far. Josh, we can connect this weekend if you want to just make sure that we have that dialed in. So then when we go live, it's just one link that they need to follow, and then they're exploring level 1, agreements. And also Jonah, tell Doran, I don't know if he has a paid Zoom account, but I have the one that you can go live on Facebook. So
Okay.
Yeah, let him know.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like we have some spaces right now where they go through that first level 1, and really the level 2 is now coming to the embodying component, with your having avatared up into the space. Now they're coming to the work that is here available to them, and whether it be down in Costa, whether it be the project coming into the States, and Virginia, wherever these projects are, we can start moving the energy into that direction, I think, and being transparent about what's needed too, calling in what we need right now, through that field, and just expanding it out there with our a voice through that network, because that network's already holding a lot of us in it, and that container is just boom, keep interweaving.
Totally. We could use Stephen Black's process. We could ask for what we want, like you're saying. We could, we're revamping level 2 invite. We're putting more context behind it. So yes, this weekend, if you're willing to do that also, Brittany, and anyone else that wants to join us, we can go through and make a video. And instead of having me on it, I want to have a girl's voice, and I want to have pictures that show what we're talking about. So it's here's what you get out of it. And we'll just have it that way instead of another video that I'm talking in.
Ain't nobody got time for that, bro.
The level 2, I mean, yeah, it is what it is for now, and it works. And the level 2 video I could see is not as powerful. And everything needs to keep being updated as things evolve so quickly. So we need to redo it anyway. And so I'd like to get my my face off of them as soon as possible, and have them all be professional, and not all of them, but just slowly kind of turn them into something that's more universal.
Yeah.
And if it needs to be my a joint voice or whatever, that's fine too. But let's start to build it out where where they're entering the Gaia field. So cool, awesome. So we're meeting next Tuesday, so we still have 4 or 5 days. I am going to meet this weekend with you, Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you want? So we're going to be doing that. Is there anything, Jonah or Stephen, that you guys want to do on Synergy Hub specifically before next week? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Those like 5 days. Let me go ahead. Say it again, Jenna?
I'm gonna make sure that I, you know, converge and meet up with Brother John here, and then come back into the field with like what comes through in that gathering, you know. And so
Okay,
that will be on the target in relations to this.
great.
I'm gonna. Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was just saying, great.
I'm going to review everything I have for Futures Playground and see if I've missed anything that might be relevant for the project that I could share.
Perfect. All right, cool. And so what's our goal for so we can maybe define a goal next week. Getting to level 2 process is me and Brittany's goal, is getting, because if we're going to invite this and make it open, I think our goal should be maybe, Jonah, since you're working with Source, you could also get that started and maybe a little game plan of how, when we do plug people in, you know, and if Stephen, you want to help with this, when people do come in, because you have that little model, Stephen, of resource gatherers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even you guys could maybe even get together and come up with a way that we can get newcomers that want to do synergy hubs, attract our core team and attract people that are really either have money or skills or whatever it is that we need to make this successful, I guess. Optimize.
I would like to do that when I feel more comfortable, when I have I still feel like I'm lacking some understanding in what it's gonna be. Like my vision of it isn't complete. So when I'm there, I'd be very happy to undertake that role. But right now, I don't honestly feel comfortable doing that yet.
Okay.
'Cause I
Yeah.
think I'm just lacking.
Okay, you don't have to. Jonah, are you able to take a look at that, or do you feel like that's something that me and Brittany need to do because we're more familiar? Which it might be. Maybe it's just you're not familiar enough. I don't know.
No, I feel familiar enough into looking into that. So just briefly go over what exactly you would like to come in, because there's a lot of different parts. Just a very focused summarization of what Synergy Hub is, you know, doing, being.
Well, there's two things. We want to support others. Okay, what we're doing is we are supporting others in creating synergy hubs. We're creating the process. That's what we're doing. We need help in doing that.
Right. Okay, so the invitation.
That's it. I mean, we can do it on our own.
Right.
Yeah, and really the pieces that need to get built out are the platforms that support the we're creating all the stuff on our calls and through our homework, but we need it to turn into a tech platform. So we need basically a little tech team, to be honest with you.
There we go. Got it. Yep. Okay. So an invitation of the tech team, pulling together
so
tech
how do we
team.
Yeah. Yep. What are we giving them in return? I mean, we do have a currency that we're all earning on the universal field. This is Synergy Hub, so this is, I don't think, is covered with universal currency, although we could talk about that and decide if that's something we want to mix in there. We just need to talk about that. Right now, the currency goes towards, we haven't even officially adopted Synergy Hubs into the Gaia field. So what kind of reciprocation are we giving them? You know, if we're going to get a currency from the universal field, we would also maybe want to help launch a currency, you know, or something. I don't know. Let's just think about it. So this is stuff to think about, what we're offering, what we can offer, what's the value. Obviously, people are going to want to create synergy hubs which have immense value in them. We could sell that product and then go pay for what we need, which is the old model. I don't really feel that great with that. I'd rather give it away free and attract the people that want to just help, instead of selling a product and buying, you know, it seems like a lot of extra wasted time and effort and taxes and corporate structures and shit.
Agreed. Bring them right into the closed circuit economy.
Yeah. as soon as possible.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so
Mhm.
we can offer the economy. We can offer our own currency that we have right now. It's a ledger, and when we get paid, we all get paid. We can definitely do that. If there's anything else we can think of, then let's just write it down and we'll talk about it next week, I guess.
Cool.
That's in the highest alignment, what you just said right there. I mean, that's really what it's about at this point, right? It's like it's a full belief in what we're bringing forth, and so coming into a full, like, are you willing to come into the unified field, and their pay will come with the completion. That's the team I'm looking for, to work with. Like, ain't nothing come from all this work other than what we see. We all see it, and we keep showing up and working with each other because we know what we see is true in our experience. And that's who we're working with in this team. So thank you for that clarity, and our tech team. Like, we need the tech right now, right? Tech team coming in, put the tech together. You'll be on the tech team. And we'll always receive resources throughout this economy from the moment in, and we're in the roots of this tree of life.
Thank you for your participation, Jonah. Thanks for showing up so powerfully.
It's an honor to be here. Same
Yeah,
to you, brother, sister, brother. All of us here together as family, honoring each other.
Yes, I hope.
Thank you for that.
Okay, well, I guess I will be signing off now, and it seems like we're closing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember the process right now, but
Feel good. We all feel complete. Everybody
I
feel
think we
seen.
do some kind of hand motion and
Yeah.
something.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.